Hey, good evening, Neverwinter. Thanks for viewing, and I've never made a video that describes something negative about the game because we're usually trying to move forward and progress. But I have to do this because I'm seeing a lot of negativity from it, and I think more people are gonna fall for it. So let's have a brief moment in history. I've been playing the game, I think, since the first week it came out on PlayStation, so like 4 years? I don't know, time flies. The August of a summer when it was free on PlayStation Plus, and I saw it and I got hooked immediately, and I've been a fan ever since. And over the years, stuff happens, like these combat reworks, right? It's a change to the game and we gotta adapt. It's just part of the flow. Stuff gets nerfed, right? The Swarm was amazing. When mod 16 came out, every DPS was using it, but then the next mod they said, hey, we'll only stack one time. Okay, but we got a lot of use out of it, except for the poor people, or not poor, but the players who bought it the day before the nerf. They got the short end of the stick. Okay, but nerfs are going to happen, changes are going to happen, and then fast forward 4 years and the most unprecedented thing happened. Previously, the most precedented thing that I saw happen was in the previous pack we had the King of Spines, and then the next pack they nerfed it, right? They don't stack anymore, so it got a nerf after, I don't know, 4 to 6 months. So we got a relatively small use out of it before. It's still effective, but it's not as effective, and I imagine less people would be inclined to buy it now than they would have when it was more effective, right? So there are people who have it in their inventory and won't use it anymore. So it's not like they wasted their diamonds unless they bought it the day before the nerf. Alright, so let's go to February 5th. The combat rework drops, right? Everything changes. Summon companions have been best in slot since Infernal Citadel. It's just that people didn't start realizing it until late this mod, before the combat rework, when it started becoming really popular to start using summon companions again. And now they're even more useful, where the majority of DPS at endgame are using summon companions. Well, if you're going to invest, what does it cost to take a companion to Mythic? Let's see now. Let me find. Okay, let's take Makos, and let's say why we want to upgrade it. It's gonna cost 1.5 million or 150 comp tokens. Well, right now the 1.5 million might actually be less than the comp tokens. I'm not sure, I haven't done the math, but they went really high. And there's a really good chance at their endgame that they upgraded multiple companions to Mythic. Well, the one that many have upgraded to Mythic was one of three: the Quickling, the Cold Iron Warrior, and the Dire Vicious Wolf. Why? Because they were generally hitting slightly more, or not slightly, they were doing more damage than the other summon companions. Fast forward a whopping 10 days. 10 days of usefulness. If you got it the very first day, they announced that those companions that you just upgraded are now not going to be as useful as they were. So people will probably navigate to other companions, which means they wasted their 1.5 million. Oh, and that's assuming they had a Cold Iron Warrior already in the inventory, and a Dire Vicious Wolf in their inventory, and a Quickling in their inventory. Well, healers probably had Quicklings in their inventory, but for the DPS, they may or may not have had those in their inventory, so they had to buy that companion. If you don't know, they're very expensive, especially since, well, prior to they announced the nerf, 10 days after they allowed us to get him. So those three companions are very expensive. They were, on the low end 4 million, high end 8 million. Well, actually, Dire Wolf was actually cheaper than the Quickling, just because more classes need it. But they got those. The Vicious Dire Wolf comes in green, blue, or purple quality. So chances are they bought it, or they had it in their inventory, and they upgraded it, assuming they had a purple, to legendary and then mythic. So it wasn't 1.5 million, it was 2.75 million they spent on that companion. And that's assuming they already had it, which most of them probably did. They bought them. And the reason I said it is because I have a very unique view on the auction house that the average player doesn't have, because I'm so involved in it. And from what I saw, hundreds, if not thousands of players bought those companions. And those hundreds or thousands of players also upgraded those companions. It is a very realistic assumption that players spent billions just on PlayStation. I'm not sure with Xbox and PC, but just on PlayStation, players spent billions. And the game nerfed them 11 days later. Not only is this unprecedented, this is the negative part. They lied to us. Let me go to YouTube real quick while I'm talking to you. Combat rework Neverwinter. If you go to YouTube and type in the Driftwood Tavern presents combat rework question and answers #1, it's an hour and 3 minutes long. I could only stomach the first 28 minutes this time, because the first time I watched it is when it came out. And they made a lot of proclamations. Multiple times they state that players will not have buyer's remorse. And then they said when the mod gets released, it's gonna be in its final state. And guess what they did 11 days later? Well, they didn't say final state. They said this combat rework. The question was asked by a viewer, when is the combat work coming? And they said it's not coming until it's ready. So I believe in a reasonable assumption would be that most people believe that if it's ready, that means it's in its final or almost final form. Oh, and players wouldn't have buyer remorse. That was mentioned multiple times. Guess what? We have hundreds, if not thousands, of players on PlayStation with buyer's remorse who lost billions. This was a scam. It was an AD sync. It was uncalled for. I can imagine the meeting right now, right? The board meeting. Hey guys, we're getting reports that this companion's like, instead of giving 10% damage to a player, it's giving like 12, right? Some insignificantly small number that has no matter on a dungeon completion or not. And they go, oh, well, we got to nerf it then. Well, sir, players in this last week have spent billions on it. Should we really nerf it and do that to the community and lose all the trust that we've been trying to get back? Yeah, fuck them. Let's nerf it. They did it 11 days after they promised us they wouldn't. And they did. Because did people upgrade fast? Of course they did. Because they were told that they didn't have to worry about upgrading or buying because they wouldn't nerf it. And they did. Why would they nerf when so much is broken? Look at this. This is the Githyanki companion, right? It's a pretty good companion. Watch this. It's gonna do some really nice attacks. Where? Okay, it's got this attack. It's a spinning attack. And multiple companions have like their super move, right? It does a ton of damage. Oh, that's the Magos. Let me summon back the Githyanki. Alright. Watch this garbage, right? This companion is amazing on paper, because every 20 seconds it's gonna do a massive spinning attack, and it's huge. Maybe I'll get him, he'll do it once. Maybe he just did it while he's in the window. He'll do it every 20 seconds, so the longest we have to wait is 20 seconds. We'll see it. We'll see this great spinning attack. Let me get my stop clock on. Just 1 second. This is almost getting ridiculous. I hate wasting your time. Let's get the... Oh, here's my stopwatch. And go. Alright. We're at 2 seconds now. We're waiting for this great spinning attack. It's supposed to happen every 20 seconds. Sorry, guys. I know you're... Oh, we're at 12 seconds now. Where's this great spinning attack? Well, I'll tell you, you missed it, because it does it when you first summon it and doesn't do it the rest of the match. It's completely broken. They lied to us. So their priorities right now are to take people's billions of investments that nerf them, that have almost no effect on the outcome of the dungeon, instead of fixing stuff people invested in and making them work properly. It's a really scary time right now. And the reason I say this, and the reason I'm making this video, is I'm very involved, and I've helped a lot of people progress, and it's been very helpful to me as well. But now I'm feeling bad for the people who feel bad about their purchases. People in our alliance want to leave the game. We're losing people we've been helping and grooming and shaping. People are leaving because of this completely motivated. It was done on purpose. They could have not done this. They had 4 options I can think of. If it was too overpowered, right? Which it wasn't. It was too. If they were too overpowered, couldn't they just make the other companions stronger? No, because that would be fair. People wouldn't lose, right? People wouldn't lose their investments. Oh, did we actually have to do anything? No, we didn't. There was nothing wrong with the game. We didn't have to take people's billions. You know what? If we absolutely have to nerf them, could we just give people an exchange or a refund or something, get their money back, their diamonds back? Yeah, we could do that too. Well, there's the 4th alternative, the slimiest, scummiest dickhead move they could have done, and they did it. And I'm sorry, I'm usually really calm on my videos, very go-lucky, but they actually took the absolute possible worst option, lied, lost the trust, and sunk billions out of the economy. And that is an understatement. I think it was in the tens of billions, but I can't give any information to provide that, except the only people I've seen in in-game dungeons are all using them, and they're all pissed. This wasn't, I'm upset because of a combat rework and I don't like change, right? That happens every time. This was, we gave you an option to upgrade to Mythic, and 11 days later we nerf it. We take that from you. You just lost your investment. Who made this decision? Who thinks this is right? I imagine people will comment that, yeah, we had it coming, right? The victims are to blame. We had this coming. We should have known that they were going to screw us over, right? We should have known. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have invested. Or if you had that many diamonds to invest in, then you didn't really lose anything. Well, I'm telling you this. Most people don't spend their diamonds. They're buying Zen and converting it to diamonds, right? We know this because the auction house backlog, the Zax exchange, it actually moves because people buy Zen and convert it to diamonds. They did it. Be forewarned. I am completely confident they're going to do this again. This was a conscious decision. They knew what they were doing, and they took the absolute worst possible way to screw over the community at endgame. All right, ran over. Have a good evening.